The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah's Common Council meeting for Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. The clerk will call the roll. Please indicate your presence on your roll call device.
Alderman Boyette.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Hillstrom.
Here.
Lundrum.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Paulnow.
Here.
Stein.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
And Borchert.
Here.
My device has something wrong with it. It says, uh-oh, something isn't right. And it's a sad face.
Mine's fine. It's nice working with you.
That's right.
Thankfully, we have someone who knows how to fix that. Alderman Ellis will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening we have two proclamations. The first is for White Cane Safety Day. I'll read that proclamation. Whereas on October 6, 1964, the United States Congress designated October 15th of each year as White Cane Safety Day. And whereas blindness and severe visual impairment affect approximately 109,000 Wisconsin residents. And whereas the majority of these persons use travel aids such as white cane or a service animal to get around public streets and sidewalks and places of public accommodation. And whereas these travel aids are universally recognized as symbols representing vision loss, and whereas Wisconsin's white cane law requires that motorists come to a full stop before approaching closer than 10 feet to a pedestrian who is using a white cane or a service animal, and whereas greater awareness of the white cane law leads to safer, more attentive driving in general, enhancing the safety of all pedestrians, including children, elders, and people with disabilities. And whereas communities have the opportunity to implement many proven features to enhance the safety of all pedestrians, including sidewalks, accessible pedestrian signals, and curb ramps, now therefore be it resolved that I, Jane Lang, on behalf of the residents of Neenah, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, October 15th as White Cane Safety Day in Neenah, and also acknowledge the importance of pedestrian safety year-round. The second proclamation is for International LGS Awareness Day. Whereas International LGS Awareness Day is observed throughout the United States and around the world on November 1st, and whereas Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, LGS, is a rare and debilitating form of childhood onset epilepsy that many people have never heard of, so initiatives that increase public awareness are critical. And whereas Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, LGS, is typically diagnosed before the age of 8 years old and is characterized by frequent uncontrolled seizures, multiple seizure types, resistance to medication and or therapies, and intellectual disability. And whereas individuals with LGS are at high risk for sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, and the mortality rate is 5%. Those with LGS are 24 times more likely to die prematurely. Now, therefore, I, Jane Lang, Mayor of the City of Neenah, hereby do proclaim November 1st as International LGS Awareness Day in the City of Neenah. Yep, please come forward. If you'd like to say something about this and why you wanted to present it, could you do that at the microphone? Thank you.
Well, first off, thank you.
Just a couple more facts about it. 1 million people around the world are estimated to have LGS, with approximately 50,000 people right here in the United States. No one is born with LGS. It develops over time. The LGS Foundation and community are leading charge to ensure that research, care, support services, education, and awareness of LGS are impactful for those impacted by LGS. We just want to say thank you for making it known in our community where Avery lives, and thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for bringing our attention to that.
Yeah.
Alderman Boyette?
Thank you, Mayor. Probably not many of you know, but Ashley's my daughter, and that is my youngest granddaughter. And LGS is purple and green. So for the month of November, try to wear as much purple and green as you can. Thanks.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is introduction and confirmation of mayor's appointments. There are none. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the council minutes and proceedings of September 18th, 2024 regular session? Seeing no objection, those minutes and proceedings are approved. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing considering ordinance number 2024-20, amending section 26-661, parent 3, and section 26-661, parent 8 in the Code of Ordinances related to tourist housing. So I will open that public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on that public hearing? Is there anyone here who would like to speak relative to this? Anyone here who would like to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing and move on to the Plan Commission report pertaining to the public hearing. Alderman Steiner.
Thank you, Mayor. The Plan Commission met on September 24th, 2024. Minutes can be found on the city website. The commission recommends council approve ordinance number 2024-20, amending section 26-661, parent 3, and section 26-661, parent 8 of the Code of Ordinances relating to tourist housing, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Steiner, seconded by Council President Borchard. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess my question would either be to Director Hayes or Assistant Director Schmitz. We're in the middle of we're in the just beginning phases of the Stantec housing study, and I didn't know if is this a fruit of that tree? Had they had weigh-in on this, or is this a separate item totally? And if not having a weigh-in by them, should we?
Brad certainly can add in, but it's independent of that study. I don't foresee this change having any real, well, even minor impacts as it relates to housing.
Because the perception is sometimes people think that this takes away quote-unquote affordable housing. So that's something that wasn't considered. I mean, so there hasn't been any weigh-in on that in that regard, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Lendrum.
Thank you,
I'm sorry,
Mayor.
were you done, Alderman Paulno?
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
Alderman Lendrum.
Thank you, Mayor. Could we get Deputy Director Brad Schmidt to the microphone to explain this amendment, please?
Yeah, so in 2017, we adopted the ordinance for tourist housing really to protect neighborhoods. Since 2017, we've had some requests for tourist housing primarily in the downtown on the second floor of some of the apartment buildings to convert to tourist housing. Under the ordinance as it's written now, the residence has to be your primary residence. So a lot of those landlords that own those apartments obviously don't live there. So in looking at that, and primarily in those commercial properties, we've make the changes to allow so it's not their primary residence, and also that they can use third-party property management for those properties. Because it's such a limited area, and in addition that tourist housing is a lot like a hotel, which primarily are in commercial areas, so that we felt that the minor change wouldn't have a big impact. And then just secondly is that the restrictions and the requirements for tourist housing for residential properties are the same for commercial properties. So they still have to show parking, they still have to show, meet the requirements for the number of individuals that can stay in the unit, and they still have to do the notifications to neighbors as well.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Alderman Lindrum?
Yes, I just wanted to say something really quick. As I do understand the concern that it might affect some of the housing shortage, but I have talked to enough traveling nurses to know that that is a preference. Those short-term Airbnb type of housing, the short-term housing, is a preference for them because they don't stay much longer than, I think it's 12 weeks. And I know that we can have periods of time where we have a nursing shortage. And I like this idea because I would want to encourage more housing for short-term for traveling nurses. And not only that, I talked to a family that had a patient at Theta Clark long-term, and they needed a place to stay so they could be with their family member at Theta Clark. So that's another really wonderful opportunity, is to rent one of these short-term housing. So I don't necessarily think it really takes away from housing options. I think it really adds to it. That's all. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. This is the opportunity for anyone from the public who would like to speak before council to come forward. Please give your name and residential address if you would like to speak during the public forum.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and alderpersons and staff. I just want to stop by. I'm a candidate for the 53rd Assembly District. I'm doing all the local government places over the course of the campaign, just to say hi and introduce myself if someone doesn't know who I am. It's the older you get, the tougher campaigning is, but it's going well. But I just wanted to stop by and say hi. This is an important election. I'm not going to get political or anything, but there's a lot on the ballot in November from the president on down. There's a lot of things that can impact local government, and one of them is state assembly, state senate. They do the state budget. As you all well know, the state budget funds shared revenue, funds the school system, the universities, medical assistants, all those things. And a lot of them impact us as leaders of our community. And so I look forward to the opportunity to maybe work with some of you once again. Somebody told me the other day, they said, Dean, did you fall and hit your head? You know, but I love Neenah, I love Menasha and the surrounding area, and I'm committed to public service, so that's why I'm running. And with that, I'll take any questions or anything. Otherwise, I'll sing Lee happy birthday. So.
Questions.
Well, thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum? Seeing no one, I will close the public forum. Is there anyone on the council who would like to speak relative to comments made during the public forum? Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to commend Dean Coffert for throwing his hat back into the ring. I agree. At his age, I wouldn't be doing this, let alone reliving all the years that he spent in Madison. I don't think I would want to ever go back, but I appreciate him doing that for us. And so thank you, Dean. On behalf of myself and my family, we appreciate you.
Anyone else? Thank you very much for coming tonight, former Mayor Coffert. Yes.
Drinks at the Dome.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the preliminary plat for the 4th edition of the homes at Freedom Meadow subdivision, subject to the conditions on the preliminary plat review letter? Is there any objection to unanimous consent? Seeing none, that preliminary plat is approved. The next item on the agenda, regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting, was canceled. Moving on then to the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of September 23rd. Chairman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of September 23rd, 2024. Minutes can be found on the city website. Item number 1, the committee recommends council approve self-funded healthcare plan with UMR-/Optum RX projections with a $1,750 deductible, which is a 26.85% cost increase. And I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Is there any discussion on this item? Director Fairchild, you look like you'd like to come forward and speak.
I just want to give a little history on this before you all approve, just so you can get a full understanding of how we got to where we are. Just so everybody is aware, we were on a 3-year rate cap with Robin that gave us a no higher than 12% increase per year. Last year, we should have probably seen a 36% increase to our health insurance based on utilization, but we were able to negotiate a 9.5% rate cap, which was beneficial at the time, but is also why we are seeing such a detriment to our increases this year. Our current utilization rate is at about 138%, which you want to see it at about an 80% increase to not see our utilization to not see a huge increase or less. So we are probably seeing where we should have seen a 44% renewal increase. Robin did come at us with a 30.51% increase, which is still not great, which is why we went to market and looked for some creative solutions to try to get that overall increase down for our employees. We did end up coming back with a self-funded plan with a stop loss of $100,000, meaning that anything over $100,000 would end up being covered by that secondary stop loss. So the city would be paying for up to $100,000 in claims per individual on the plan, with the exception of a couple of individuals that are on a laser focus, which that's all included in the packet that you've got there. We did ask for other proposals from other agencies as well. They all refused to quote to us, which means that their proposals to us was 50% or greater. We did have a verbal proposal from one provider that was at 44%, which is basically a no thank you. So the current proposal before you provides a richer benefit to the employees, reducing the deductible overall, and giving them a broader network. So they will see a richer benefit for that 26.85% premium increase to them.
Council President Borchert.
Director Fairchild, I'm just curious, and maybe Beck could answer this, but with organizations that have went to self-funding, have they seen a usage rate reduce, with things that have been implemented by that organization, or just the awareness that your organization is funding this?
Good evening, everyone. To answer the question, I would say most of our self-funded groups who are successful, I think I would venture to say all of our successful self-funded groups have a robust employee communication strategy. It's important for your employees to understand that your employer is paying all of the claims and that your premiums as an employee, as well as the portion paid by the city, is a direct result of utilization. That's a very careful balance because we don't ever want anyone to feel bad about the health care they need. We want folks to utilize the health care appropriately when they need to access care. So that's why we approach it from an education standpoint. The beauty of self-funded is there's not an insurance company making that profit margin on your premiums that you're paying. You're paying your claims, you're paying for the reinsurance or stop-loss insurance, and then we're paying for programs that both help folks navigate their health, but also help to reduce costs by giving people access to care at the most efficient place of care, but also with high-quality providers. We don't ever want to jeopardize quality of care for cost of care. So we're seeing a lot of employers move to self-funded, and particularly a lot of public employers, because we simply can't sustain the increases that we're seeing from the commercial insurance companies.
Thank you.
Alderman Steiner?
I just wanted to mention from the Finance Committee meeting, I appreciated how thoroughly you went through the different options that you're evaluating. And I thought it was a really nice job, given our utilization rate, just given healthcare cost trends. I think this is, really the best option that we come to, especially not eliminating, significant benefits to our employees as well. And it really matches what I've seen in the private sector as well. So want to thank you for the presentation and all the hard work by Director Fairchild. Thank you for that.
Any further discussion? I'd also like to thank Director Fairchild and Director Rasmussen for all of their work together and sorting through all of this for us. And thank you as well, Beck. Seeing no further discussion, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 2, the committee recommends council approve the vision and amended dental proposal for 2025 as presented by staff, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Ellis. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one question. If I remember correctly, this was I sat in the committee, and it's amazing information that was presented. But is this up to a 5%, or was this less?
So the dental renewal is a 3.7% increase that the city will actually pay a portion of. The vision is a 5% increase with a 3-year rate cap, but that's a pass-through cost to the employees because it's considered purely a voluntary benefit that the employee pays 100% of.
Okay, and just, I guess, a process question. Is that something that we should annotate in our motion? I mean, or is that not required? Because I know in years gone past, for posterity, and if anybody had any questions later for the council, we always put those type of things in our motions. So I guess I'm throwing that out to the council if that was standard practice now or not.
I don't think so.
Okay. Fair enough.
Someone wants to. Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a problem with that. We would just want to add it, and then we've got it.
Alderman Erickson.
I think it would be reflected in our minutes and our presentation, so I don't know if that's necessary. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 3, the committee recommends council approve Central Square and Bentech system integration with a total cost of $8,720, and I so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Erickson, seconded by Alderman Steiner. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Paulno.
Just one question. I know originally, at the committee, it was 12,000, then Director Schrader was able to get that down. I was curious to just so I'm clear, because originally it was, some money was from the, I think, a capital equipment fund. I was just curious where the funding source is on this then, now.
Yeah, the original funding source for the Bentech project was out of our ERP funding in the capital equipment budget. However, with projections from other projects that we're currently in process with, we would be over on that. So we're looking to take this out of the capital fund balance. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, so the total 8720 is coming out of the capital fund?
That's correct.
Okay, because this was, if I'm correct, this was originally, it was going to be something provided, then they said they weren't able to provide it. They went away with that service, which is good, because now it's going to be all automated, the data entry, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Originally, they had told us there was a older integration that they could do and a newer one. And since we've started the Bentech rollout and now are coming back to the actual integration piece and getting ready for that, they have since informed us that they no longer support the older interface, and we have to go with this newer one that's more costly.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. The Plan Commission report was already given. So moving on to the Board of Public Works meeting of September 26, Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mayor. The minutes from this meeting can be found on the city website. This evening, there are 3 informational items and 1 council action item. Start off with the informational items. A, the board approved change order number 3, contract 7-21, Harrison Street Stormwater Pond to MCC Incorporated in the amount of $8,299.18 for sidewalk, waterfall, pump installation, and landscape stone. Item B, the board approved pay request number 9, contract 7-21, Harrison Street Stormwater Pond to MCC Incorporated in the amount of $127,479.29. Item C, the board approved pay request number 3, contract 7-24, concrete pavement and sidewalk repairs, Jim Fisher, in the amount of $72,052.56. Then we go on to the council action item. The board recommends council approve final pay request contract 1-23, sanitary sewer and laterals, storm sewer, water main and services, and street construction to Donnie Parker Excavating on Burr Avenue, Chestnut Street, Dekoff Street, and Loudon Boulevard in the amount of $277,261.19, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Hillstrom, seconded by Alderman Lendrum. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is the Library Board. Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Library Board met on September 18th, and some highlights from the meeting include for the month of August, the circulation numbers for the Neenah Library were 54,179, Menasha 9,411, and Oshkosh 40,426, which are great numbers, but in the month of June, we were at 65,314, so we have had a outstanding summer with circulation. And one other thing I'd like to point out, that if you are a speed puzzler, which is always fun, and the registration is October 13th at 5 p.m., and so that will probably close at 5:05. So if you are interested, mark that on your calendar, because the sign up will go very, very fast. So there are a lot of great programs and information on the City of Neenah Public Library website. So I encourage you to visit the website and also check out some books. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. The Neenah Arts Council, Alderman Erickson.
Thank you. The Neenah Arts Council met on September 11th at the Neenah Menasha YMCA. The group toured the Arts and Humanities Department at the YMCA. And the Neenah Arts Council has partnered with the Jack Richardson Gallery. And today there was a plein air art event at Doty Park. And that took place this afternoon. And there were many plein air artists signed up, and they were fortunate to have great weather for that. The other thing I would like to mention is that the Neenah Arts Council will be receiving an award at the the State of Wisconsin conference this October, and we will be receiving the Creative Community Champion Award for the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. So, thank you very much. That concludes my report.
Congratulations on that award.
Thank you.
Sustainable Neenah Committee, Alderman Lendrum.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a very fun field trip for Sustainable Neenah. We went over to the Globe Coffee, and when you look on the roof, it is covered with the newest technology of solar panels. You cannot tell that they are solar panels. They are very, very thin now, and they're very durable. You can even walk on them if you had to. So they are not our father's solar panels any longer. We were led by a young man named Michael Voigt, and he works for NTEC. But NTEC is a branch of Faith Technologies. So he was very knowledgeable about the solar panels. They don't cover the ice rink because that has the chillers and the coolers, and the whole plaza is heated. So it can't cover that. He said they would have to take the whole back parking lot and put a structure with those on that in order to cover all of it. But I thought that was really interesting. So if you want to learn about solar panels, I would call him up, Michael Voigt at NTEC, like I said, branch of Faith Technologies. He also was very helpful with how the technology has evolved, and not only with the solar panels but batteries. He knows everything about all types of batteries, not just solar. So there's a huge change in how we make batteries now, new technology. So that was absolutely fascinating, and I'm very grateful to NTEC to provide us with that. So if anybody wants his number, let me know. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. Bergstrom Mahler Museum, Council President Borchert.
Thank you, Mayor. One event coming up, community event After Dark. The Renaissance Fair is September 26th from 5:30 to 8:30 at Bergstrom Mahler of Glass. And then save the date, one of their more popular events is Night at the Museum. Will be taking place on February 15th. That's it.
Thank you for your report. Are there any petitions? Are there any council directives? Is there any unfinished business? Alderman Erickson.
Yes, I was wondering if you could please give us an update on when you plan to schedule the security training. I had mentioned that in August, and we haven't heard anything.
Thank you for that. Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to give a FYI. On October 6th at 1 o'clock, there will be a dedication of the new military monument to the service members at Oak Hill Cemetery in Neenah at the military section, and everyone is invited.
Thank you for that reminder. New business, Arrowhead Park Development Status Report. Is there any report, anything new to report? Alderman Hillstrom?
No, nothing new to report, Mayor.
Any announcements? Alderman Lendrum?
I'd just like to take this moment to wish everyone's favorite Alderman, Lee Hillstrom, a very happy and warm birthday. I know he wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else other than with us. So anyway, happy birthday, Lee.
There are cupcakes over there for everybody, so plenty of them.
Council President Borchert.
Thank you, Mayor. Just an announcement that I think we all know that there's a new superintendent that has kind of joined our district. There will be some listening sessions that'll be available and open to the public. Dr. Harrison will be, October 8th, will be at Zupa's from 6 to 7. On the 17th of October, he'll be at Schlattes from 8 till 9 a.m. And then the Plaza on the 23rd of October from 8 to 9 a.m. And then Cafe Nutrition on October 30th from 6 to 7. Some of the topics including what people are most proud of about the district, what they value about the district, challenges they'd like to see addressed, how to engage the community in addressing the challenges, and what things the district should start, stop, or continue doing. So if you haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Harrison, he's a good addition to our district.
Thank you. Are there any further announcements? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? We are adjourned.
The City of Neenah is pleased to provide video recordings of City Council meetings. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents from the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or completing the electronic feedback form on the city website. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited.